There's something terrifying hidden inside that hospital scene, and most people completely missed it. The show didn't just give Henry hope. It gave him an instruction. A single sentence. A sentence that sounds harmless at first, almost healing. But when you break it apart, it becomes something far darker. Because if we're hearing it the right way, then Frum just told Henry to kill his own son. And the worst part? This isn't a theory built on one strange scene. This has been building for episodes, maybe even seasons. The visions, the fake reality, the blood, the voices, the man in yellow, all of it has been pushing Henry toward one impossible choice. And if this is true, then Victor is standing right at the center of the next tragedy. Not because he caused it, but because this town has always been preparing him for it. And what if the reunion between Henry and Victor was never meant to heal them? What if it was only meant to break them both? Because once you connect the clues, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. The town doesn't just kill people. It turns love into the weapon. And Henry may be next. Let's start with that hospital. Because that's where everything changed. Henry's visions didn't begin randomly. They started the moment he drank from Sophia. And now we know Sophia wasn't Sophia at all. She was the man in yellow hiding behind a familiar face. That matters. Because it means Henry's visions aren't natural. They're designed. Every single detail inside them was placed there for a reason. Think about what Henry sees. A clean hospital room. Bright lights. Heart monitors. Doctors. Normal life. Safety. Everything the town is not. And sitting beside him is Victor. But not the Victor we know. Not the broken man shaped by 40 years of fear. This Victor is different.
Calm. Clean. Whole.
Like the version Henry always wished he could have saved. That's important. Because the dream isn't random comfort. It's precision. It's showing Henry exactly what he wants most. A repaired life. A repaired family. A repaired son. Then it goes further. Miranda is alive. Eloise is alive. The family Henry lost is suddenly back together. That's not mercy. That's fate. Because the dream gives Henry back everything he's been grieving for decades. Everything except one thing. One person. The Victor in the real town. The damaged Victor. The real Victor. And that's where the trap begins. Because then comes the line. The instruction. To stay in this good reality, Henry has to eliminate the anchor. That sounds simple, but think about what an anchor actually does. It keeps you tied down. It stops you from drifting away. So, what is keeping Henry tied to the town? What's his anchor? It's not Miranda. She's gone. It's not Eloise. She's gone too. The dream already gave those people back. They're no longer the tether. There's only one person left. Victor. Victor is the only living connection Henry still has to the real world. The only person keeping Henry emotionally grounded in the nightmare. And if the town wants Henry to fully accept the false reality, Victor has to go. That's the exchange. Dead wife returned. Dead daughter returned. Living son removed. And that is exactly how this place works. It offers something impossible, then demands something unforgivable. This isn't the first time the town has done this. Look at Abby. The town convinced her that none of this was real. That everyone was trapped inside a dream. And what did she do? She started killing. Not because she hated them. Because she thought she was saving them. That's the pattern. The town doesn't make monsters. It corrupts love. It twists mercy into violence. And now Henry is standing in the exact same position Abby stood in. He believes reality might be false. He believes there's a better world waiting. And he's being told there's only one thing stopping him. One anchor. One obstacle. Victor. But here's the detail that makes this even darker. Victor doesn't know. He has no idea what's happening inside his father's mind. While Henry is trapped inside this dream world being programmed, Victor is in the real town trying to survive. Trying to hold on to the father he just got back. That's what makes this cruel. Victor spent 40 years alone. 40 years carrying the pain of losing everyone. And now the town gives him one piece of his family back, just to weaponize him against it. That's not coincidence. That's design. And once you see that, you start asking the real question. Was Henry brought here to save Victor? Or was he brought here to destroy him? Because if this town planned this from the beginning, then their reunion was never healing. It was set up. And the scariest part is, Henry may already be too far gone. Now here's where the whole thing gets even darker. Because if Victor really is the anchor, then this story was never just about Henry. It was always about Victor. Think about Victor's entire life in this town. He was a child when everything ended. One massacre. One night. And suddenly, everyone he loved was gone. His mother. His sister. His home. His childhood. All ripped away in a single moment. And what did the town do? It left him alive. That never made sense. Not really. Why would a place that feeds on suffering leave behind one survivor? A child. Alone. Terrified. For 40 years. At first it looked like luck. Then fate.
But now?
It looks intentional. Victor wasn't spared.
He was preserved. Kept alive.
Like the town was saving him for something. And maybe that something is happening right now. Because look at what Victor has become. He's not just a survivor. He's a memory keeper. He remembers things no one else does. He knows where bodies were buried. He knows how the town changes. He knows the rules no one else understands. Victor is living history. And that makes him dangerous. Not dangerous to the people. Dangerous to the town itself. Because memory is power. And Victor remembers too much. What if that's why the town wants him gone? Not because Henry needs to wake up, but because Victor has outlived his purpose. Think about what Victor was doing in episode 8. Teaching Ethan. Showing him how to prepare. How to survive. How to endure loss. That scene felt strange at first. Almost random. But it wasn't random. It felt like inheritance. Victor passing knowledge down. Like he knows his time is ending. Or maybe the town knows. And Ethan? He looks more and more like Victor every episode. A child trapped in horror. Forced to grow up too fast. Learning impossible things. Seeing things others can't. That's not accidental. The show is mirroring them. And that should terrify you. Because if Ethan is becoming the next Victor, then the current Victor may no longer be needed. That changes everything. It means Henry killing Victor isn't just tragedy. It's transition. A replacement. The town closing one cycle and opening another. And suddenly Henry's role becomes clear. He's not here to save his son. He's here to complete the cycle. But there's something else. Something even worse. The timing.
Why now?
Why wait all this time to bring Henry here? 40 years. That's too long. Unless the town was waiting for the right conditions. And what changed? Ethan arrived. A new child. A new witness. A new survivor candidate. That's when things started moving faster. The symbols. The voices. The visions. The tunnels. Everything accelerated. It's like the machine started again. And now Victor is in the way. A reminder of the old cycle. A witness who survived too long. That's why Henry matters. Because only Henry could get close enough. Only Henry could hurt Victor deeply enough. The town understands pain. It knows random death isn't enough. Pain has to mean something. It has to cut deep. And no death would cut deeper for Victor than his own father turning on him. That's why this is so perfect for the town. Victor loses the one person he got back. Henry loses the one person he had left. And the town feeds on both. That's the pattern. Always. Pain layered on pain. Loss stacked on loss. But there's one more thing bothering me. The way Henry sees Victor in the dream. That version of Victor isn't broken. He's healed. Fixed.
Whole.
Why show Henry that? Because it creates comparison. It makes real Victor look like the damaged version. The wrong version. The broken anchor. And if Henry starts believing that the dream Victor is the real Victor, then killing the one in town becomes easier. Not murder. Correction. That's how manipulation works. You don't force someone into evil. You convince them it's mercy. That's exactly what happened to Abby. And Henry is walking the same road. Step by step. The dream is building him toward one conclusion. One act. One irreversible choice. And once he accepts it, there's no coming back. But here's what scares me most. Henry may not even need a gun. Because Victor trusts him. Victor wants his father close. He's vulnerable, open, waiting. And if the attack comes, it won't come from hatred. It'll come from love. From a father convinced he's saving his son. Saving himself. Saving everyone. That's the true horror here. Not violence. Belief. Because belief is what makes people unstoppable. And right now,
Henry is starting to believe.
And if Henry is starting to believe, then the next question becomes simple. Who stops him? Because history tells us this never ends quietly. And the show has already shown us exactly how this kind of story ends. With Abby, it reached its breaking point fast. She believed she was waking people up, saving them, freeing them. But from everyone else's view, she was murdering them. That's the terrifying split. Two realities, two truths, and only one survives. That's exactly where Henry is heading. Right now, he's standing between two worlds, the town and the hospital, Victor and the dream version of his family.
Pain and peace.
And the more the visions keep coming, the weaker that line gets. Because the dream is giving Henry something dangerous.
Hope.
Real hope. Not survival. Not escape. Restoration. A full life. His wife alive. His daughter alive. His son healed. That kind of hope can destroy a man faster than fear ever could. Because fear makes you hesitate. Hope makes you act. And if Henry acts, Victor may never see it coming. But here's where Boyd enters this. And I think Boyd is the key to everything. Because Boyd has lived this before. Not the same details, but the same horror. He watched Abby break. He watched her turn into something the town created. And then he had to stop her. That gunshot still haunts him. The sound never left. And the show keeps reminding us of that. Again and again. Boyd hears it. Feels it. Carries it. That's not random. From never repeats something without purpose. So why keep bringing back that gunshot? Because it's coming again. Not as memory. As foreshadowing. And if that's true, then Boyd may be about to relive his worst moment. Only this time, it's Henry. Think about how brutal that would be. Boyd, once again, forced to kill someone who believes they're saving people. Forced to watch another parent break. Forced to stop another massacre before it spreads. That's the cycle. And the town loves cycles. It repeats pain. It repeats patterns. It traps people in old wounds and makes them live them again. That's what it does best. And Henry fits the pattern too perfectly. A grieving father. A broken mind. A false reality. A simple instruction. Eliminate the anchor. It sounds so small, but it may be the most dangerous sentence this season. Because everything after that sentence feels inevitable. Henry reaches Victor. Victor trusts Henry. Henry sees the broken version of his son standing in front of him. And in his mind, he may believe killing him is the cure. The way Abby believed death was freedom. That's what makes this theory so strong. It fits the town's language. Its methods. Its cruelty. This place doesn't kill directly when it can destroy emotionally first. It makes you do the work. It makes you carry the guilt. That's always been the true monster. Not the creatures outside. The choices inside. And if Victor dies here, it changes everything. Because Victor is more than a character. He's the town's memory. Its oldest wound. Its oldest survivor. If he falls, a chapter ends. And Ethan becomes the beginning of the next one. That's why episode 8 feels so important. It didn't just push Henry into visions. It put the knife in his hand. Maybe not literally. Not yet. But mentally, the weapon is already there. And now we're just waiting to see where it swings. At Victor. At himself. Or at anyone who gets in the way. That's the real danger. Because once Henry snaps, it won't stay contained. Just like Abby. It spreads. Fast. And the town will love every second of it. That's why I think this is bigger than one death. It's a chain reaction. Victor.
Henry. Boyd.
Maybe even Ethan. One choice breaking all of them. And if that happens, then the man in yellow wins completely. Because he doesn't just take lives. He takes what people love most. And makes them destroy it themselves. That's why Henry terrifies me right now. Not because he's evil, because he's vulnerable. And vulnerable people are the easiest to shape, especially when you offer them everything they've lost. So now it comes down to this. Is Victor really the anchor? Does Henry go through with it? Does Boyd stop him before it's too late? Or does someone else break the illusion before blood gets spilled? Because one thing feels certain now. Episode 8 didn't plant this by accident. This was a warning. And if the show follows its own pattern, then the worst moment of the season is still ahead, not behind us. And when it comes, it may break Victor for good, or end him completely.